Welcome to our very first Love Hour Love Scope.
Woohoo!
Is anybody doing love scopes? Can y'all tell us? She is pretty.
You.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm having a hard time.
Always because.
Hi, Vegas.
Oh yeah, where y'all from? Where you at? Shout your country out, cuz we out here. I don't know. Do people need to do where y'all from?
No.
That's what I see people doing all the time.
Atlanta.
So. But that'll help us know whether we should
distracting.
come. Nashville, North Carolina, New York, LA.
Hey, New York. We love y'all.
Candy, why are you leaving Snapchat? I won't leave Snapchat then. I'll just do it sparingly.
Can you, for everyone you pick up, you got, somebody's from El Paso, you need to get
Drop
rid of
one?
Yes.
Okay, I'll drop mine.
I don't care what you drop. For everyone you pick up, you need to drop one.
Snapchat, you just won't get my love anymore.
Okay,
Somebody
good.
said they love your haircut.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to try and do our podcast from the live thing, and then we'll do some questions at the very end.
Yes, purge the social media. That was a message.
That was. I feel like I got too addicted to social media.
That was a message.
I be on a lot. But I'm technically on social media right now, so I can't purge and then do this. Please leak Snapchat, Periscope. It's better. Yeah.
Yes.
You don't like Snapchat?
I don't really know what Snapchat is. I never even downloaded the app, so
Well, this is the Love Hour. If any of you haven't joined us before, this is the podcast that we do that's on iTunes and SoundCloud and also on YouTube. Yes. We talk about love, marriage, sex, and everything in between. If you want to support the podcast, you can do so at audibletrial.com/lovehour, and you get free books from Audible.
I've been struggling to find a new book, so if you know any good books, put them down in the comments.
The Bible is a good book. Ha did it book.
Oh, thank you.
Ishkataye discandioso.
Kev, tell them this was. Yes, it was Jason Frederick's idea.
This was my brother's idea. I usually don't listen to people like my brother and my wife until I think it's my idea first. And my brother told me that we should do the Love Hour live on Periscope. And I'm listening to him. I cannot take credit for this idea. It was my brother.
Yes. Can other people see the comments?
Other people can see the comments. All Dev Digital is in here? Who's that? Doughboy? Who's running the Periscope at All Dev Digital? Anyway, I got my Crip shirt on today. This is my Crip.
And I'm wearing black and white because I've just come to the realization that I'm obsessed with black and white.
Alyssa loves black and white.
I know, I do. I keep saying I'm not going to buy more black and white, and then I
always Chris Blackwell. Chris Blackwell, our director of social media, is out here on the ADD on the scopes. Right. Let's get it, cuz. Chris Blackwell is a fantastic director of social media at All Dev Digital. He is a hard worker. Shout out to the squad. Have you ever said squad? Why did you do that?
You always say it like that.
Oh my gosh, why did you say squad like that? It didn't ever sound weird until you just did it.
That's how y'all do it.
Squad! Shout out to the squad. Wow, you're in the squad now.
I don't want to be. It's hot.
It is hot in here, so we're going to get started. Anyway, we saw the movie The War Room last night, and we're not going to spoil the movie.
No.
But we did take some interesting things from this.
Okay.
Oh, we're still talking about books.
Can I recall those?
No. Oh, I don't think so. You can't read the comments. Oh, no. If you go to the replay, you can read the comments, right?
If you know a good book, a relationship book preferably.
Yeah. Yeah, if you know a good book, leave it in the comments, and we will go back and read these.
Yes.
Or watch the replay.
Listen.
If you watch the replay on Periscope, I think you can see the comments. Okay. I'm going to read the people.
I need feedback on that movie. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to give our review of War Room.
Okay, so go ahead. I'll let you start.
So War Room was a movie about, it's a Christian-based movie about a couple going through relationship struggles.
Yeah.
It's actually a really good movie. Of course, it's...
super Christian-y?
It's super...
It's a little churchy corny.
It's a little churchy corny.
Lisa didn't want to say it, but...
I know, I feel bad saying it.
There's really no way to make a church movie and not make it churchy corny. You have to do that.
But it's still a really good movie. There was some really good points in the movie. Hold on.
Share this podcast. I don't know how you do that. I think you swipe to the right. Or share this broadcast. Swipe to the right or something. I don't know how to work Periscope. But if you know how to share, those of you who know the words of share this. I think you swipe to the right and press a button.
Jay probably knows. Jay, say it.
So leave in the comments how to share, and then we'll go ahead. But go ahead now.
And so there's a couple. Okay, so the wife
Yes. Michelle Obama
is a real estate agent, and she's going through selling this house, and she meets this lady, and she helps her go through, steps of how to save her marriage.
Yeah.
The woman's name is Mother Clara, and I'm here for
She's the best.
her entire character. She was, the queen of shade, the queen of a read. She will, what did Cheryl say today? She reads with excellence. Listen.
Yeah.
Mother Clara is about that life.
Yes.
Through and through. She was my favorite character in the entire movie because she was just real life. But it was a really good movie. Some of the good points that we took away were one of the things that Mother Clara actually said. And her name's not Mother Clara. Her name is Clara. But I have named her mother, dubbed her Mother Clara because she was the mother in the church.
Yeah.
But one of the things she said that was actually thought was really good, and I thought about in the movie. Like, wow, that was a really good point. She said, the lady was talking about fighting for her marriage, and she said, how can you fight for your marriage when you're fighting against the person you're in a relationship with?
Yeah.
And I thought that was so good, because so often we find ourselves in a position where we feel like we want to fight for our marriage, or we want to fight for our marriage, but yet we're fighting against the person we're in a relationship with, so it's counterproductive. What are people saying?
Nothing. You just keep going.
Okay, so again, I thought that was just a really good point. Something to always keep in mind, that you are in a relationship with your partner. You guys are on the same side. You're not enemies, and the only way that you can have a successful relationship is to remember that. So when you're fighting for your marriage, remember you're not fighting against the person you're in a relationship with.
Yeah, that's really hard sometimes, because especially I'm a competitive person.
Yes.
And sometimes rarely, but sometimes when we're in an argument, you forget that you're on the same team.
He always wants to win.
I just want to win. And it's just like,
hey, Dana!
Liz, you can't do that.
Sorry.
We're going to do this on the podcast.
I'm sorry.
You're screaming hey in the middle of the podcast.
Sorry. I don't know. I'm sorry.
This is the podcast.
I saw Dynamite, and I knew it was her.
Hey, Dana, we're going to talk to y'all in depth towards the end of the podcast. This is going to be a bad podcast, but it's going to be a good scope. So that's all right. It's hard because we've never done the Love Hour interactively, so we're usually just talking to the camera.
Yeah,
and then,
it's a little weird for me. I'm sorry.
And then we see y'all like, hey girl, hey! Hey girl, hey! What you doing in the scopes? Y'all in there? Can y'all see me in there? Hey, y'all see me in the computers? You see me in the computers? Y'all looking at my computers? So yeah, we don't know anything about Periscope. I had it for 2 days.
The computers.
But anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, it's like sports. I love to make everything a sports analogy, and it's like you throw a ball to your teammate and he drops it out of bounds, and you're like, man, you it's like throwing it out of bounds, and I lost my analogy.
I was trying to stay with you, but I had no idea what
I needed another sport.
You always try to make a sport analogy.
I know, because it makes so much more sense to me.
Because let the relationship stand on its own.
I don't know, but it's obvious when you're playing sports that you're on the same team.
Yes.
Is what I'm trying to say. And when you're in marriage, we fight against each other like we're not on the same team.
Yes.
Like the whole object of the marriage is for us both to win.
Yes.
And this fight, I'll give you a better example. One time I got a speeding ticket, right? And I lost it or forgot to pay it. And you were like, I'm not going to pay it, just in case he don't pay it. Remember this?
No.
You're like, I'm not going to pay the speeding ticket.
Because he never pays his stuff.
No, I don't. And then at the very end, it was like 2 days left, and she was like, here's your ticket. You weren't going to pay it. And I was going to be right. And I was like, yeah, but then we're both going to have to pay a late fee.
Yeah, you're right.
We're both going to have to pay a late fee, but your point was going to be proven correct, but the money's coming out of the joint account.
Right.
So to make your point was going to cost us both $65 extra.
Am I making my point right?
And that's how we do in our marriage. It's like, you win the argument, yes, but we both are on the same team,
right.
So you don't necessarily win if you're losing as a team. And I don't know how it should be so obvious that you're on the same team, but it don't be that way sometimes.
It's not always obvious.
Sometimes I be like, you be fighting against each other, and that's what was good in the movie. And like I said, we're not going to spoil it.
That is good.
We're not going to spoil too much of the movie. But this one part that she was talking to Mother Clara, she was like, write down all the stuff that you don't like about your husband. And then she wrote down like 3 pages of stuff, and she was like, what did she say after that?
Thank you. I don't know. Mother Clara was everything. Go see the movie just for Mother Clara.
Just see the movie. But one of the things she was saying is like, basically, you pointed all that stuff out, and now what? Are you still going to love him?
Right.
Is God still going to love you even though you did this stuff? And are you still going to love your husband? Right. So yeah, it's I don't know. It's hard to make it so obvious without seeing the film. But I think
The Marriage Manual Handbook.
oh, she's still talking about books.
By C. Joseph Simpson. C. Joseph Simpson. Okay. Can you, if you guys know my Instagram, can you put that on my Instagram? That book.
Listen, you can read the podcast. You can read the comments afterwards.
Can you put that on my
We're
Instagram?
We're still just struggling.
Okay.
We're just struggling.
Okay. So get through
this. That's the point I was going to make. That it's obvious that we're on the same team.
Would you do a fashion tip?
Liz, you can't read the comments. They're talking about other stuff.
But she said listen to me, so I feel like I should. Thank you. Leave me alone. That's what she said. You can't
do the podcast and read the comments. We don't know what we're doing. We're supposed to be on the same team, and we don't know what we're doing. We can't. We gotta like put a towel over the comments. It's so.
I don't know what to say. It's very distracting.
I don't know how to do this. Every time I say.
Thank you. It's her show too.
But you read about fashion and love.
It's about to be the love day.
It is about to be the love day. Thanks to Liz reading the comments. Can you do a fashion blog? And it's so obvious how we can't read that good. Like, can you do a love thing? I cannot see. Jason says just talk. Don't look at the camera. Look at me. Okay. Focus on me.
I feel like that's disrespectful.
Focus on Glory. You're disrespectful because you are reading the comments and not the people.
Sorry.
And the comments go so fast you can't read.
I don't know what to do. I
don't know what to do with my hands. I feel like
if someone says Lista, I feel like I should respond to it.
Somebody keeps saying follow me on whatever. I am going to block you.
Don't say
I can't help it. It's rude to what we're doing. Focus on Glory. Okay. Focus on Glory.
Okay. What's our wrap up of the war room? How long is this supposed to be?
I don't know, man. However long we want to do it. Don't fight against yourself. Don't fight against your own marriage. And how often do you pray for your spouse?
That was the whole point of the movie, actually.
Yeah. Because what happened was the husband was bad. We won't get into specific, but the husband was bad. And the wife just wanted to blame and complain. And I feel like that, honestly, if we're being honest with each other, I don't pray for you nearly as much as the girl in that movie prayed for her husband.
I don't pray for myself nearly as much as the girl prayed for her husband.
I don't. Like, I pray for you, but I pray for you like, God bless Melissa on her day.
Yeah.
I don't be like, she had a prayer strategy.
She had a full, a prayer. I remember actually when I was younger and my mom was like good and saved, she had like an actual prayer room. And I actually remember that. Yep. It was a little closet when we were in Germany, not the one in Hawaii. Yeah. I mean in Fort Lewis. And she used to actually have a prayer closet and she would put a note on the door that said praying, do not disturb. Like my mom was safe. And we would wake up to like grease. You know you
anointing oil.
She used to put it on the door, on top of the doors, like the Passover.
She had Helen Baylor.
My mom was real. And actually, I used to listen. That song is good.
I hit the wall.
That's Helen Baylor. That's her testimony song.
And I lost my bodily fluids were going all over the place.
That song was.
Oh, I peed and I pooped. I was sweating. I had mocos coming out of my nose.
That song is serious though.
But anyway, your point. Your mom had a prayer room.
Yeah. So anyway, we should definitely go back to that.
Yeah. I kind of didn't want to see War Room because I didn't want to be convicted about like my prayer life not being as good. And then as soon as I saw that how they were praying, I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, it was real life.
Because I pray, but I don't pray as good as they pray. And
we should start a prayer. We should start a prayer chain with these people.
We should. I'm going to do a black prayer. Yes, yes, yes.
What time is it?
Yes. We do have to go to church. I know what I wanted to say. One more thing about the movie. Don't give up on your marriage so easily.
Yes.
Because what happened in the movie, and I feel like what happens in a lot of marriages is the things start going bad. Mm-hmm. Okay, they didn't really say how long. They were married for like 8 years or 10 years or whatever in the movie, and they had a rough patch. And it was like the husband gave up on the marriage, wife gave up on the marriage, and it was about to be
the end.
And luckily, she ran into the mother who was like, "You got to pray. You got to do better. You got to do things about your life." But I feel like a lot of times the people that I've known that got divorced, more of them than not, wish they fought harder for their marriage.
Longer.
Because you put so much into it, and that's whether it's a year or 10 years or 20 years. Because once it's over,
it's done.
It's over. Because you can never go back and get it like, oh man, it's gonna be like that. Like it's like a boxing match, man. If you get knocked down, if you stay down for 10 seconds, you can't get back up and fight. Mm-hmm. Rules are over. The game's over. So if you go to divorce court and get divorced, I mean, some people technically go back and get remarried, but it's obviously going to be a lot harder to stay in your marriage if you give up. And a lot of times people just give up without fighting.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, there's been times in our marriage where we've had rough patches and stuff, and it's easy. Can you focus?
No, they keep talking about my holiness jeans.
Can you focus on the podcast?
Sorry.
Melissa is not.
I'm in grace.
You ain't in grace. No, you ain't in grace.
Where's
I'm about
Jason?
to put a lap scarf on you.
Jason, get my grace.
I'm about to put a lap scarf on you. But anyway, you don't want to give up on your marriage without even fighting.
Right.
Like, there's infidelity, there's everything. And it's easy to give up. It's easy to give up, right?
Absolutely.
And you just can't, because something that's not worth fighting for is not worth keeping. I feel like also if your marriage is struggling, or if
so long-winded, he should have been a pastor.
If you, I might be a pastor in a former life.
This is why you can't do vines. This is
No.
why, because if the point is getting shorter and shorter, and you're just
and Periscope is perfect for me, because it's just as long as y'all
just
here,
as
long as you love me,
then he goes into
we
a
can be
solo.
homeless, we can be something, we can be broke. I see all those hearts and that engagement and that feedback, and I'll be here all day.
Go.
But you didn't say nothing about not getting up on your marriage, because we had rough patches. People think we don't. People think we have had a perfect marriage from start to end.
Listen to Jack in the Box message.
Go back to podcasts on iTunes and listen to Kev is a Jerk. The title of the podcast is Kev is a Jerk. But I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the comedy years.
Yes.
The years.
That's another episode we should do.
Yeah. What?
Comedy years. It should be called Comedy Years.
It should be called Kevin and Liz Don't Have a Perfect Marriage. Y'all need to stop lying to yourselves, because we be arguing. Okay. For the last 10, 15 minutes, we are going to actually read the comments and listen to the people.
I didn't know that's what you wanted to do.
Yes, we got to talk about this. This is our first one, guys.
Okay, go.
So for the podcast listeners who are not on Periscope, forgive us. For the people on Periscope for the first time, forgive us. So we're gonna take some questions and talk about what y'all want to talk about.
That's Jay.
Liz is open-minded. So go ahead and fill the comments up with something you guys want us to talk about, and we will talk about it until we got to get ready to go to church. Kev, where'd I get this shirt from? H&M. I don't care if you don't like it. I like it.
I like it too. I like Paisley. I did hold him down through the rough patches, whoever said that.
Yes, that's Texas lady. What are the most important things in our marriage?
What are they?
Sex.
Communication.
Communication about having sex. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, y'all gonna act like sex ain't a part of marriage? Let me tell you something. I need the draws. Amen. Got to have them on the regular. Amen. I still don't. I don't know why God made the woman have a period. I feel like He's trying to come in between the union He created. Outside of getting pregnant, God, you know you out here holding me out 7 days. You sending me through the struggle, God. You're sending me through the struggle, Father God. Why you got to hold me out? You got to get creative in those other days.
Answer more questions.
Sex is very important. Communication, obviously. Respect. Quality time. Sans social media.
Yes, Jesus.
I legitimately was upset at Melissa a couple days ago.
Why?
Because you were on your phone for like 3 hours.
Yeah, but you always have these moments, and that's what I think is so hilarious.
I am a hypocrite.
You are the biggest.
When I want you off your phone, I want you off your phone now.
Exactly
when I'm on my phone, I want to be on my phone.
That's exactly how you
But you got to call me on it. You didn't call me on it. Call me on it.
I always let you live.
Don't let me live, because I'm not going to let you live.
You never do.
I wanted to talk to you. I kept turning around. We was watching Hard Knocks, and you was in your phone, and I was just like, I am going to bed, and you're not getting any tonight, so don't even ask. I have a headache. I will not give you any sex.
I gotta tell you what I was looking at, too.
So, anyway.
Is Shari and Sharice in there?
Because
it was the night I was talking to Shari and Sharice.
Oh, was it?
And Nick and Mel.
Okay. So, anyway, quality time without social media.
Yes.
We go back and forth. We have good times where we're unplugged, and then we have times where we be like, I don't know, man. It's just a bad habit.
Yeah.
It's just a bad habit that we be.
I was actually doing research, though.
Okay. So, do you have anything else that's important to our marriage?
You hit them all on the head.
Time without your kids. Time with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
We send our kids away from the summer, and then we do stuff with them. We do something. Somebody asked, what are your love languages? Go ahead, Liz.
Mine is quality time. And before it used to be quality times and acts of service. I still think acts of service is pretty high, but I think quality time is much higher in my elder years of life.
Okay. Quality time followed by acts of service. And mine is physical touch and quality time, I think.
I think words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation. I got a big ego.
Yes, you do.
And let's ask to show my big ego. Do you two do speaking engagements? I will preach heaven down. Amen. I will preach heaven down. Father God, we just come before the throne of grace. I'm not going to be before you long, God. I love you. We're here at Methuselah Methodist Hospital Church. We would love to do love conferences, and
I really would love to do a love conference, actually.
we're feeling like we're just gonna do. Kimbo said his love language is quality time alone. We would like to do speaking engagements.
Yes.
We don't really know how to charge or anything like that. So now's the time to get us early before we know our worth. But we'll do it. How do you deal with your relationship shift if it did when you had kids? That's a good question.
That is a good question. That's a podcast.
That's a whole podcast. We'll touch on it briefly here, though. I remember specifically prior to us being married, or prior to us having kids, Melissa was our stage manager for our plays. So me, Jay, and Ant, we did plays, and specifically we did one called No Good Men. And Melissa was a stage manager, and she was like vigilant, and you know,
That was good. I
she
took a
was
class in
really
college.
good. She was really good. And then when we had Zay, she was basically like off. I'm not going to be going to no rehearsals. And it was hard for me because we had spent not only 2 years of marriage without kids, we had like 4 or 5 years of dating. So there wasn't much time. We didn't have much experience having somebody else take our time. So at first I was a little bit like mad because I was like, man, why don't you want to do stuff? Like I kind of took it as she doesn't want to do stuff with me, but she really just wanted to. It's kind of stupid now that I look back because we had an infant child.
Yes.
And it's like, why don't you spend time with me? And the baby will take care of herself. But she's always been like that though. As when JoJo was born and Zay, as they've grown older, she's always had a difficult time letting them go. She's gotten better a little bit with age, but that was a difficult thing getting adjusted to having children take over a portion of our life. So I'm a big proponent of sending our kids to family or friends and spending some time alone without them. But we should write that down for a full podcast. Okay, next question. Let's fill the questions up. Any plans for another child?
No, ma'am. No, sir. Absolutely not. The Lord said no. Jesus did not say yes.
We love to practice for making kids, but the factory is closed due to the recession. People always want us to have another little girl, but if you had to raise JoJo Fredericks, you wouldn't want them no more kids. You don't want no more kids. So no, ain't no kids. Although we would make so much YouTube.
Absolutely not.
If we could just go from a pregnancy to birth.
No.
And if she was a little girl,
No.
and she was so gorgeous, and what if she had natural hair? We could do videos.
When Jesus says no,
we ain't have no more kids. Our friend just had a baby, so that's just when we have the urge, we just gonna go and hold Timmy.
She's so cute too.
Plus, our brothers and sisters have kids. We got kids on deck.
What are your thoughts on submission in marriage? I actually have a full thought on that. Didn't we do a podcast?
We did a podcast on the submission in marriage, but you can throw.
I'll throw very briefly what my thought on submission in marriage is, and that is my pastor actually in Washington actually used to say submission just meaning submitting to God actually just means to be under the mission.
Yes.
And that's literally how I feel about it. To submit is literally just to be under the mission of your household.
Yes.
And God has, under the eyes of God, the man is the head of the household. And again, since we are on the same team, we're going to talk about what that mission is, and I'm going to be under it, so that way we're not dividing against one another. We're not opposing one another. We're on the same team. We're going in the same direction, trying to accomplish the same thing.
It's easier to submit when your husband is under the leadership of God. Sometimes we don't have the husband is not being led by God, and it's hard to be led by somebody who's not on the same team. If we're in war, it's like the general saying doing this, and your lieutenant's like, we should do this. Like, hey man, y'all got to get in one accord, so I can be on one accord.
It's the only way to be effective. It's the only way to have an effective household. It's the only way to establish and work together as a unit. You can't be like this. Yeah,
we got to be on the same side.
Yes.
Whose side are you on? I'm on the winning side. Whose side are you on? I'm on the winning side. Whose side are you on? I'm on the winning side.
Why are you shitting?
That's what he did. Whose side are you on? I'm on the winning.
That's it.
Okay, a couple more questions, and then we got to go to church. How do y'all establish boundaries? And then the question faded away. Whoever said that boundaries question, put that back in. How do y'all establish boundaries? I missed the rest of it. How do you establish boundaries? What was it?
Is that a chicken?
Yeah, I don't know what Ken Mose is doing. How do you establish boundaries?
You know what? I don't like when your friends are doing stuff because they be worrisome.
Without conflict.
How do you establish boundaries without conflict? I don't understand the question.
I don't know what that means. Try and write the whole question full again.
How did our first meet, and what is your love song?
My love song is T-shirt and my panties on. T-shirt and my panties on. Sex ain't never felt better. Can you have an ungodly lust for your spouse?
No.
No.
Because it's your spouse and the marriage is, no.
No. I'm lusting. I don't even think it's lust. If it's for your spouse.
Yeah, I feel like it's not lust either.
No, that's just healthy libido, amen. God gave it to us. He wants us to be looking at her nasty, smack her booty on the way in the shower, grab it hard, hold it, squeeze it with both hands.
Shut up.
Look at your
How do
fingers
you
in it.
establish? You mixed it again.
Undefiled. The marriage bed is undefiled. That means you can be a freak. That's not what that scripture means. No, we got to stay here and we got to hone in on that.
Your bodies belong to each other. That sounds like Jay.
Your body on top of my body. It's your body, baby.
Why are you in full
all
concert?
over your body, babe.
I've been trying to help, man.
No, I don't think you can have.
I love the African American habitual beat.
I don't think you can have an ungodly lust for your spouse.
No.
I think you can be wanting to sex them and think about them naked all the time. I think you can tell your spouse to send you
Who's
nudes.
the trains? Ken Mose again?
Yes, that's Ken Mose.
That's why I don't like black people.
There's a praise on the inside when she's wearing a thong. A holler on the outside when she's wearing cheeky drawers.
Have you ever, what? Starkeisha.
I don't know who this is.
Oh, have you seen the Starkeisha choir? I haven't, but
No.
I saw the thing about it.
I didn't see none of that.
I saw something on Facebook about it, but I didn't watch it.
Okay, a couple more questions, then we got to go to church.
Kev has a song for everything. That's true.
She's asking, how can you guys discuss what's healthy and unhealthy without offending each other?
Oh.
Is that sexually or just
maybe
like
just in
food?
arguments?
Okay, let's go from arguments.
Okay.
Okay, so we totally feel like arguing is a healthy thing.
When you're two people, you're gonna have a disagreement. You're not always gonna see eye to eye.
Right. There's like at least two things on how to fight fair. One, stay on the subject at hand.
Yes.
Right? Because it's our tendency in nature to go back and be like, well, Melissa did this, so I'm going to bring this up in this argument so I can win. So if the argument is about Kevin not taking the trash out when he's supposed to, then I can't say, well, Liz, you said you were going to cook dinner on last Thursday and you did it. Okay. The second thing is, remember you're on the team, so if you're arguing, you can't be like belittling, condescending, yelling, or calling names, because those all detract from the point of the argument. Again, if the argument is about me not taking out the trash, then calling her stupid or nagging or annoying doesn't help to actually help that argument. Do you have any other ones?
No, I was going to say no low blows.
No low blows, because it's easy to be like, that's why your dad doesn't let you.
These are boundaries you have to set up, I think, before you even get to an argument. You can't be in the middle of an argument and be like, hold on, let's set some ground rules. No, I don't want to talk about your ground rules. Right. I want to tell you off. Right. So these are like, these are conversations you have to have
prior. Yeah.
So that way you both know going in.
I totally agree. Do you ever get angry at each other? Yes. Oh, I know what I wanted to say.
Who kills the spider in the house? I don't have spiders.
I killed a spider. I killed a spider this morning right over there.
Yes, he kills spiders.
There's one thing, somebody asked, do you ever get angry? One thing that's interesting about our marriage is, and this is a whole nother podcast, but we'll just touch on it briefly here. Your family upbringing has a whole bunch to do with who you are in a marriage. Mm-hmm. So in my family, we have a very open relationship. If my brother makes me mad, we will yell, argue, whatever, but we will hash it out that night. My parents were the same way. We had to talk about stuff. And Melissa's family, that wasn't the same. Like, they could go to bed mad and then wake up the next day. So early in our marriage, I was trying to force Melissa to be in, like, I need you to talk to me the way we talk. Like, I'm mad, so let's talk about it. Melissa would be like, I need to go to bed, and I don't want to talk about it. And she would shut down. So I used to fight against that and be like, you need to be like I am. And then I realized, I was like, okay, this one time I'm going to try it. I'm going to go to bed, and her be mad, and I be mad. And if she wakes up and she's still mad, then I'm going to be like, see, you lied. But she woke up and she was calm and we were able to talk about it. So it's important to understand who your spouse is and part of their upbringing and who they are. and that way you can understand how they act in like
is in there.
yeah, in the circumference of like what the world is. So when you went to bed mad, you woke up and we were able to talk about it. You weren't just like, no, I'm still not talking about it. So now that I know Melissa can do that, then I don't try and force her to come my way. And baby, don't you come my way. Got some things I want to say. Okay, 2 more questions. 2 more questions.
2.
It's my first time. Okay.
It's not. You've done 3.
It's our first time as a love scope.
Oh.
Speak briefly on how did you come to an agreement for Kev doing comedy full time? Boy, that led to some arguments too.
No, the agreement was you got fired.
Right.
And you and this is what you wanted to do to pursue. You wanted to pursue your dream.
Yeah.
That wasn't the conflict.
Right.
The conflict was how much time you were spending.
No, I'm talking about when we first got fired and we sat in Pastor's office.
Oh, that's because you were.
That's what you got to speak to.
Okay,
because that's what led to us getting on the same page.
Wait, what do you know? Because I'm talking about when you didn't want to take unemployment.
Right.
You were, okay.
No, when I got fired.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I kind of always wanted to do my own thing. And you were like, no, we got to talk about that. If that's the case, yeah, speak on that.
Why don't you just speak on it?
No, because I want to do it from your point of view.
Okay, so when he first got fired, my whole point was that... Because Kev used to say stuff like this. When Tyler Perry...
This is my go-to thing.
When Tyler Perry was first starting out, he was homeless. So we might have to be, it might be hard times before we see really good times. And I used to be like, yeah, but I can work.
You say like, that ain't my testimony.
Yeah, you did. You said that ain't my testimony. Ain't no way in the world I'm going to just choose to be like, oh, we're going to have to be homeless because my husband's pursuing his dreams. And you have a degree, 2 kids to feed, and a mortgage. Like, that's not smart.
Oh,
I was just telling him that, before, if that's what you want to do, I'm cool with it. Like, I'm a down chick. You want to pursue your dream? Let's do it. But let's put a plan in place.
Right.
Because I believe a lot of times what he will do and has done, and we've gotten better, is we don't step out on faith, we step out on foolishness.
Ooh!
And be like,
that's a word!
You are silly. We don't put a plan in place. We don't establish, we don't set ourselves up for God to bless it. You have to be smart. You have to be wise. You have to, I don't know what he's doing.
You step out on faith and not on foolishness?
Yes.
That was good word.
Okay, Kev.
Evangelist Liz? Oh, that was good. Evangelist. Oh, it's in your name. Evangelist.
Anyway.
You can't spell evangelist without Liz. Up top.
I'm done with you. One more question. I think that was 2.
And then just talk about the other part of going too much time.
I want you to lead me there because I don't know. You want me to say what you want me to say.
The second part of what you were going to say originally.
Was that...
Doing too much comedy?
Yes. He was doing comedy like every single night. And it was taken away. It was making me feel some type of way because he wasn't going to like church. He was going to like real life clubs. And I wasn't going. We had boys at home. They were in school.
And the women were dressed scantily clad.
And they were definitely dressed scantily.
And then, like, every comedy show, there would be a photographer to post all the pictures, so Alyssa would see how all of them was dressed, and she was just like,
that would make me
really, Kev?
That would make me feel some type of way. So it was a process going through those years and, coming to an agreement. At the end, Kev decided that's not the route he wanted, which is how he got on YouTube. Yeah. But, I mean, that was definitely a process.
Yeah, so...
Charlie Lachelle was there, too?
Yes. He needs to support Kevin Liz. Okay, one more question, then we really got to go to church. You know what time it is?
No, I don't.
We really got to go to church. So we go to California Worship Center. What are some funny, annoying things your spouse does that gets on your nerves?
Sing. What he's been doing this whole episode. It's funny, like, during this hour, but when he's doing it in real life, you be like... If you sing one more song, I'm going to take out your vocal
God
cords.
gave me this gift.
He didn't give you the gift of singing.
He gave me the gift of liking it. I don't know why I sing so much. I just like it. You're lucky I can't sing. That would be more annoying to have like an amazing voice and not be able to...
Yeah, but you would know. Even if you could sing, you'd probably still be annoying because you do it. You don't stop. You just go.
I can't imagine actually singing less.
Okay,
if I have an amazing voice. What do you do that get on my nerves?
And you better tread lightly.
I'm not going to say anything that she could do that get on my nerves because we ain't got to work tomorrow and you can have good sex so you don't have to work. So I don't want to ruin my chances. Nothing Melissa Fredericks does gets on my nerves because I love her. She's beautiful inside and out. She ain't never annoying. My nerves are her nerves. She's just glorious. She's glorious day. She's just, yeah. When you do the podcast, you promised about that girl about divorce. I think we did the podcast about divorce.
What?
Oh,
no. My parents' divorce.
Oh, you haven't done that?
No. We kept saying we were, and I keep forgetting.
Okay, so we'll do it in the next couple weeks then. All right? All right, guys. This was really fun. I think we're going to do this weekly. I think we're going to do our podcast like this. We'll do an intro.
We'll be making up stuff right on the spot.
I think this is a great way to do it. We'll do it on Periscope. We'll answer questions at the end. And then we'll post the podcast. Post this
on, but I still want to do it on like SoundCloud. And
no, I can post this on SoundCloud and iTunes.
Yeah, this might be annoying for SoundClouders.
No, iTunes. It won't. It won't. Because think about it, when Brilliant Idiots does the questions part, it's not annoying. We might have to streamline it a little more. So the beginning of the Love Scope won't be
this was long.
Questions, but at the end it will be. I do like the interactiveness. That's what somebody said. It's interactive.
No.
And I like the interactive part. It's like having a live radio show.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll get a radio show from somebody in the world.
Why do you always have pre-planned?
Listen, man, I'm trying to build an empire. Like Lucius Lyons. I am trying to have marriage conferences. JoJo started his own podcast. He did
so cute.
3 episodes. If you go to JoJo's...
These are his notes, too.
These are JoJo's notes.
In his handwriting.
In his handwriting. JoJo got his own podcast and his own notes. And he stuck to them. And he did it. Somebody said we're going to be late for church. We are.
Yeah, we are.
But anyway, come here, Joe, and say hi to the people. Tell them about your podcast, The JoJo Show. Tell them. What did you talk about on your podcast yesterday?
About my topics.
What were your topics?
What were your topics, Joe?
What kids do and what parents don't want to do.
You're just so sweet. We are going to die. Whether we eat healthy or not.
So just eat junk food.
What if you get a black tooth? It doesn't matter. We're going to die.
Those totally unprompted.
Check out JoJo's podcast. He spoke for 12 minutes alone on his first podcast, and then 22 minutes the second time. So his next podcast will be up on his YouTube channel. What's your YouTube channel? Official JoJo. Why are you being shy, Joe? You ain't shy. Talk to the people, bro. You gotta get look how much hearts are going up when JoJo comes in. And hugging my neck like he's at the front of children's church. You just so snook him.
Okay, come on.
All right, we gotta go. We're going to church now. We love you guys. Bye. See you next week on the Love Scope. Probably around 10 o'clock Eastern.
I'll wake up.
Or 10 o'clock. We'll try and do it by 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Can we do that? Between 10 and 10:30 we'll be here. But just follow us on Periscope so you won't miss the notification. We'll see you guys later. Goodbye.